I titled this segment, Tested Right Away. The Norcross Flash runs into the Tet Offensive. This segment is heart-wrenching in a way in that Colonel White describes how when he was 20 years old, he was thrown right into the middle of the Tet Offensive. And now in history, we know that the Tet Offensive was a bloody and brutal time in the Vietnam War. He had no time to ramp up. There was no honeymoon time. He didn't get time to sit and think about being a leader. He was thrown right into the fire. And whether he wanted to be a leader or not, he had to be one. And he got to see what he was made of and what his true colors were right away. And for a 20-year-old man to step up and do what he did, I have a lot of respect for him, and I enjoy listening to what raw leadership looks like when it is faced with stress.
And I got to Vietnam, and we go through about a week of acclimatization, because it's hot, it's humid, and so forth. You get your uniform issued, your weapon issued, and I'm assigned to the 4th Infantry Division.
And how old were you at this time?
I'm now in 20. I'm an old man of 20 now.
20, gosh.
So, and I'm in the infantry, and I'm going. We know what's going to happen. You're going to be fighting the enemy directly. I get there, I leave day after Christmas 1967 to go to Vietnam, and now it's the end of December. Spend a few days getting my uniform and briefings and so forth. And they say, okay, White, Lieutenant White, you're assigned to the 2nd Battalion, 35th Infantry Regiment, 4th Infantry Division. Got it. So now we're getting ready to go out to the field because you're kind of back in a big base camp, relatively secure. Nothing was really secure, but it was pretty secure. Mm-hmm. So a helicopter lands, and then myself and one other lieutenant who I never saw again, I don't ever know what happened to him. A Huey helicopter landed, and it was full of sea rations, water, and ammunition, and 2 lieutenants. They said, get on that helicopter. And, yes, sir. We take off. As we're flying, I'm flying over bomb craters. I mean, you can tell you're in a war zone. I mean, we're flying low and fast to stay out of the small arms range. We're not shot at, but that's just the flying. As we're approaching the landing zone, now we don't wear any rank in combat, so I'm just, fatigues. And it's loud. The doors are open on the Huey. In fact, they take the doors off. So you're just in the winds blowing around. And the crew chief leans over and grabs my collar and he pulls it up so I can hear. He said, listen, where we're going, this fire base is under fire. The fire base is under fire. It's under attack. When we land, I'm going to throw all these sea rations, this ammunition, this water off, and if you don't jump off first. You got that? Now, he's probably a specialist. I'm a lieutenant. It doesn't matter. We're just guys going to war, okay? Mm-hmm. And his point is, a helicopter is a target. We can't be on the ground but seconds. So if you don't get out quickly, I'll be throwing your young self out real fast.
For your own good.
You got that? Mm-hmm. Got it. We come down, a big ball of dust comes up. As we're approaching that landing zone, there's a burning helicopter that we pass over. The fire base is under attack. Mm-hmm. And so we come in, and sure enough, they come in there real quickly. Sea rations, ammunition, water starts coming off. 2 lieutenants come flying out of there, and that aircraft takes off. I mean, we're literally on the ground seconds, or they're on the ground seconds. We're out there in the dust and the dirt, and we kind of get up, and somebody on the L-Zeus said, so what's your name? I tell him, what's your rank? I tell him. He said, go report over there to that bunker. So he and the other lieutenant and I race over and go into this bunker. And we're receiving rounds. There's a battle going on. So the enemy's mortaring and so forth. And I found out later.
So there's no transition period. You just
no. We're in. I mean, it's like day 6 of Vietnam, and you're in combat. The other 5 days was just getting your stuff oriented and so forth. So we go into the bunker. So you go from this bright sunshine into this bunker, and it's dark. And so we walk in there, and we're standing there, and a figure appears before us. This guy has a cigar in his mouth, and comes up to us in a real strong Southern accent. "What's your name?" To both of us. And the other lieutenant says his name and looks at me and said, "What's your name?" I tell him. He said, "Where are you from?" Maybe he heard a little Southern accent at the time. "Where are you from?" I tell him, "Georgia." "Where in Georgia?" "Norcross, Georgia." "Norcross, Georgia. You know where Clarkson, Georgia is?" "Yes, sir." He's the battalion commander, by the way. I said, "Yes, sir. We used to play them in football." And I think he even said, "Oh, you mean the Angora Goats?" He said, "What'd you do at Norcross High School?" "Did you play any sports?" "Yes, sir." "What'd you play?" "Football and ran track." "Well, you're the Norcross Flash." So he would name everybody, give them a nickname. Mm-hmm. So I was the Norcross Flash. Mm-hmm. We're talking, this is a conversation, we're talking 30 seconds or less than a minute. There's a war going on. He says...
You're wondering if he's noticing? Ask you some questions.
He knew a little bit about us. I mean, he was doing his...
And then he gave you a name,
He was
right?
practicing leadership. I mean, he was getting to know his men as best he could.
Right.
He assigned the other guy to A Company. He assigned me to C Company. He said, "You're in White, you're in C Company. Your company commander is Homer Kraut." That was his name.